You know, when they say the apple don't fall too far from the tree, they wasn't lying. How everybody doing today? Come on in, tell a friend. I'm back at it. Now, as we close in on selection season, not election, because no one is getting elected here, folks. Only selected. And as you get ready to cast your spell upon yourself or your vote, saying that you are in agreement to whatever outcome of the path that the person who is now the face of your sovereignty takes you down. That's what your vote is. That's what the spell is. That's why you have a person that's a control opposition telling you exactly what that person across from them is going to do to the country. And by you thinking you have options, you feel that you have a dog in the fight in the future, in your future, and in the future of this country. But you don't. You never have and you never will until the American people wake up and come to the realization, stop the plan, stop acting like you don't know that we've been had, that we've been duped, we've been finessed, we've been tricked, hoodwinked. What Malcolm say? So before you go and cast that spell upon yourself, I want to let you know here today that all presidents are related. And you know, it's a shame what they have done to the American people. The level of deceitfulness. You know, I'm sure there's a young boy or a young girl out there that believe that they one day too can become the president or the vice president of this country. And I'm here to let you know today, youngin, that that's not gonna happen. It's not that you don't have the ability to do so, it's that it wasn't designed for you to be. You're not of the bloodline. As simple as that. You're not of the dragon's, serpent's bloodline. And it's not about skin or complexion of the skin. All skin folks ain't kin folks. Now who we have on the screen here is the former vice president to George W. Bush, Dick Cheney, and his daughter. And they got a few words to say about President Obama. And I want you, if you may, to try your best to remember what he's saying about Barack Obama and how he's saying it in the way he expresses himself about Obama. And at the end of the video, we'll get back to this. Let's go.
Say President Obama, you say?
I say a president whose policies are doing lasting damage to the United States of America.
The Iran nuclear deal.
Terrible deal. It definitely ought to be rejected by the Congress.
Should Guantanamo stay open?
Yes.
Any regrets about going into Iraq?
No, it was the right thing to do then. I believed it then and I believe it now.
No apologies.
No apologies.
It is classic Dick Cheney, unleashed, unapologetic, and once again taking on President Obama, this time with a new book co-authored with his daughter Liz, a former Deputy Assistant Secretary of State.
We wrote it because we're deeply concerned about the fact that we're in a world where the threats to the United States are increasing. We've got the Chinese on the march in Southeast Asia. We've got Russia on the march in Europe. We've got ISIS and a caliphate established now in the Middle East. We think the threats against the United States are as great as any time since the end of World War II. And at the same time, this administration has rapidly diminished our military capability and our capacity to be able to meet those threats.
How much damage do you think President Obama has done?
I think it's been devastating. He's strengthened our enemies. He's strengthened our adversaries. He's abandoned our allies. And I think his tendency and his determination to apologize for the nation consistently and repeatedly around the world has been devastating.
Rate President Obama for me.
I think he's a man with a worldview that doesn't fit reality, that he has a set of beliefs, an ideology, if you will, that doesn't equip him to deal with the kinds of problems that we're faced with today. So he, in terms of trying to rank him as a president, would be very low on the list of presidents.
You think he's the worst president ever?
Well, he's certainly the worst in my lifetime.
That's said on President Obama's.
It's a great thing for history.
George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, William Howard Taft, and President Barack Obama. One young girl traced them all back to one common ancestor.
They're all cousins and all grandsons of John Lackland.
It's the first family tree of its kind, pouring through more than 500,000 names for months. 12-year-old Bridge Ann D'Avignon discovered that all the U.S. presidents, except Martin Van Buren, are related to the former King of England, John Lackland Plantagenet, signer of the Magna Carta in 1215.
Mildred Reed is his first great-grandmother on George Washington. And on Obama, Mildred Reed is the 10th great-grandmother.
It started as an assignment to research her own lineage, tracing it back to roots in France. But Bridge Ann wanted to branch out.
Well, I think we just all go back somewhere. It's just a matter of proving it.
She started with George Washington, but unlike other professional genealogists that only looked at the male family lines, Bridge Ann was able to link the presidents together using both male and female ancestry. Before this, historians had only been able to link 22 family trees.
She kind of created a triumph of women's studies here.
Bridge Ann also figured out she's an 18th cousin of President Obama, something she hopes to be able to share with him in person.
I've written a letter to Obama, but I just gotten standard reply. I hope to meet the president and explain it to him.
In Paso Robles, Adam Rakusin, your Central Coast News.
On the School Watch.
Now, I didn't interrupt that first little video of the young girl explaining how all presidents are related, because I wanted it to go through so you could just get a clear, understanding of where we're going. And so on this one is when I will interrupt and I do some explaining and letting you know exactly what's going on here. And again, this is a this is a shame, man. This is a shame. All these presidents are related. You think that's a coincidence? This didn't even start here. If you go through the Bible, it really started where? In Egypt. Where it was like, if a man dies, his child automatically becomes the ruler. And if that whole little, he don't have any kids and he passed, then his siblings become the ruler. If they ain't around, then their kids, or it'd be like his nephew or something. But it has to stay in that family. It has to stay in that bloodline. Nobody outside can be the king or the queen. outside of that bloodline. The ones that sit in the castle. And as soon as a person that's in charge die, it could be a 4-month-old baby. They talking about it's the king. So they don't care the child's mental capabilities at that point in time or nothing. It's about that blood. They don't care. This is gonna be the king or the queen regardless. We don't care what you people out there can do. We don't care about where you can lead the country, what you can do good for the country, where you can take the country, how you can help the country grow. Financially, safety-wise, health. They don't care about that. This child that was just born, if they're the only person around in this bloodline, that baby is the king, considered to be the king. Now, there's going to be some people there that's supposed to make sure that baby come up and can be it. They're going to protect them and do all this. And then one day that baby going to pop up if they make it, and they're going to take rulership. All off of blood. Nothing else. They ain't have to do nothing else. Just be. And it seems to me, to my knowledge, it started up in Egypt. But all that passed down the rulership through the blood. And this is what's been done. But they gave us the illusion of options. Because somewhere down the line, people got tired of it. Like, how the hell is you people the only people in charge here? So they said, whoa, my son run and my daughter run, no matter who win, I win. We still a win, and the people will be satisfied because they think they have options. Matter of fact, we're going to give them a few options on this side and that side, and then we're going to let them boil it down to one on this side and one on that side, and then they can choose between them two people to be the face of which one of them going to be the face of their sovereignty.
Tonight, the story of a 7th grader from Salinas who claims to have made a major discovery about President Obama. She and her grandfather say that President Obama is related to all but one U.S. president. We get more tonight from Action News reporter Felix Cortez, who's live in our Salinas newsroom.
Well, Dan, the youngster spent the summer, really all summer, tracing the family tree of our presidents. Her conclusion that all the presidents, with the exception of one, share the same grandfather.
Well, first we start off with George Washington at the top, and then it goes to John Adams, Thomas Jefferson.
11-year-old Bridget Davignon says she's made a first-of-its-kind discovery that President Obama and all the presidents before him, with the exception of one, are related and descendants of a former king of England.
No, they are all cousins, and they're grandsons of John Lackland.
He trying to play stupid. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna roll that a little back. Wait a minute. Give me 1 second.
Davignon.
Hold on. He trying to play stupid. You know what that little girl is saying. You know that she's saying that this guy right there in the right-hand corner is all of their fathers. Granddad. He knows exactly what she's saying, and it's the truth. They've been playing this game for too long. Since day one, they've been playing this game. Then you hear her say, hold on, let's roll back.
Same grandfather.
Well, first we start off with George Washington at the top.
Did you not hear her say first we start off with George Washington at the top? So if he number one, that means they've been doing it since the beginning. It's never been, you never had a dog in the fight. You never really had a solid option. It was an illusion of one. Whether my son win or my daughter win, I win. I hate glorifying the devil ways, but this was a cold stunt. This is cold-blooded. All the presidents are related. All leading back to who? Hold on. To some guy that got the crown on that's sitting in the castle. The one that I said, whether he passed away and someone takes his place in this other bloodline, or he is the one that takes the place of someone that was in charge of the bloodline. But that guy is of the bloodline. And they come from him. They his seed. His serpent seed. This is one big circus show.
And then it goes to John Adams, Thomas Jefferson.
11-year-old Bridget Davignon says she's made a first-of-its-kind discovery that President Obama and all the presidents before him, with the exception of one, are related and descendants of a former king of England.
No, they are all cousins,
I
and they're grandsons of John Lackland.
Davignon says she spent countless hours on the internet over the summer researching the lineage of our presidents, a project that started with her trying to trace her own family tree.
But I'm the first.
Hold on, y'all.
Family tree.
I want y'all to just take a look at that. Please, look at your screen. Take a look at that. You think Obama didn't know this? Wow. They got us. And this is a form of revealing magic. Because now that you know, what do you do? See, they have informed you to the point that they put this on national news. And this was on more than one news channel. I just showed you two alone. So I don't know if this little girl is a witch revealing this to you. She's being used to reveal this to the American people, so you can never say you haven't been told. You can't say that. That's over with. The moment they put this out there and what they call the cloud and all of that, it was over. Ignorance is no excuse to breaking the law. That's how they look at this. In that sense, how the police and the court system will look at, like, just because you didn't know it was a law, don't give you the right to break the law. Well, this is the situation as well. Once it's been revealed to you, you're no longer a fool, and you're not a baby. You're no longer a fool. So whatever outcome or path that these people take you down, they don't feel they'll be held accountable. You've been warned. You do have another option, but you're too scared to take it. We all are. Abandon this system that got us so comfortable. Start up the car from a remote. It heated up, heat seats, steering wheels. Car drive itself. Damn near, some of them. Okay. Everything at your fingertips. Walk around with a fucking, basically a computer in your pocket all day. You can do anything with your phone. Y'all got vacuums that vacuum themselves for you. Some of y'all can start your washing machine from your phone and your refrigerators, and you're too comfortable. You don't want to leave the system. That's what it was designed for, to get you in a comfortable state, in a dependable state, where you're dependent on the system. So you don't want to take that other option. You'd rather keep going to the voting polls, casting your spell upon yourself, hoping you get a better outcome, when you're not. They're both going to take you down the same path, whether you like it or not, just in a different way. If you join the Bloods, you still gang banging. If you join the Crips, you still gang banging. Which way you want it?
But I'm the first historian to do all the presidents. I'm very glad I got this done, and I think it will turn out to be a success.
The Monte Vista Christian 7th grader has written President Obama to tell him the presidents before him are his cousins. She hopes to present this family tree chart personally to the president. But Bridjan has her skeptics, including this reporter. Her biggest supporter and firm believer that Obama is a descendant of a former king of England is no doubt her mother.
If you have a child, and they 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 have a child,
Life names change.
all we're saying, all she's saying is this guy is the great, 25th, 27th, depending on what line it is. He created all this family. So do I believe it? Yes.
And so do I. And so do Obama. Again, do you really believe, after now receiving this information and more information to come at the end of this video, that Obama didn't know this? Do you really believe that? This is cold and it ain't fair. It got us. I thank God for this knowledge. And a few subscribers that I do have, I thank you guys as well. And you guys should also, thank God. Because even if you still feel, you want to go vote, do your thing. I ain't throwing no stones at you. I just don't participate. And I ain't here to encourage you not to. I'm just giving you the full, what they call scope. So when you do go out there and vote, just know where it's going. It's leading down the same path, regardless. Just in a different way. So I don't want you to feel like, hey, you shouldn't. No, go vote if you like to vote. You have to be involved in some type of way, or they'll just overdo us. But just, be aware that you now know what you're getting yourself into. Family ties, family matters. The bloodline. The dragon's bloodline.
It's hard, but it's true.
Well, Mom said it. Hard to believe, but you got to give the little girl an A+ for at least trying to do that and trying to accomplish that feat. And by the way, Bridget has concluded she's the 11th cousin of President Obama. Dan, Aaron.
All right, very good. Thank you, Felix. So who is the one that President Barack Obama is not related to, according to the 7th grader? Martin Van Buren, 8th President of the United States, first U.S. president born in the U.S. Van Buren was a widowed farmer and tavern keeper from New York who helped form the Democratic Party. He served one term as president. His ancestry is Dutch. And according to the Salinas 7th grader, all of the other presidents are of English ancestry.
In either of those first two books, though, who knew you and Dick Cheney cousins?
You know, listen, I don't think I'm going to the family reunion. I don't know how I'll be greeted.
Ha, ha, ha. Everything is so funny. Let's go back.
Democratic Party. He served one term as president. His ancestry is Dutch. And according to the Salinas 7th grader, all of the other presidents are of English ancestry.
In either of those first two books, though, who knew you and Dick Cheney cousins?
You know, listen, I don't think I'm going to the family reunion. I don't know how I'll be greeted. But no, you know, these folks have been doing all these genealogies on me, and
Right.
you know, they've found all sorts of strange connections.
This has got to be the strangest, though.
Well, listen, if you go back far enough,
Yeah.
you know, you got all kinds of crooks and thieves in your family. I'm not necessarily drawing that analogy.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you don't know who's back there.
What did you make of that story? For those who don't know this, so Lynn Cheney, the vice president's wife, has been doing some genealogy connected to her latest book. And lo and behold, way back, 8 generations ago?
8 generations or
you
something.
and Mr. Cheney apparently have some distant relative. What did you make of that story when it came
You know,
out?
I actually knew about it because somebody had done some genealogy before. And they...
Well. Admitted it out of his own mouth. You know, I actually knew about it. This man knew that since day one, people. Since the days you laid eyes on him. Since the days he popped up out of nowhere. Started attending your churches. Playing basketball. Hanging with rappers. Wearing Jordans, hanging around with basketball players, going to Beyonce concerts. Yeah. What happened to that guy? Where is he? Where is the Savior? Where is this guy right here? The one that you believed in. That watched grown women and men shed tears and believed in this guy. And he disappointed you. He disappointed me. You're supposed to be upset. You still love him because of his skin complexion? All skin folks ain't kin folks. That's why your people left you them Jews. Because they knew this day was going to come. They faced it before. You know, the one that led your people into the burning house. Where's this guy?
Sent it to me, this long sheet, and you know, had all these famous names, you know, Mark Twain and this and that and the other, and then Dick Cheney. And I took a pause. You know, I just said, well, you know, as long as as long as he's okay with it, I'm okay with it too, because I'm not going to stop talking about these messed up policies in Iraq. just because
your cousin.
Yeah, we're not kissing cousins, as they say.